Hi everybody, welcome back to another F Word. It's a filmed podcast that is designed to inspire a more vibrant, healthier and wealthier 50-plus lifestyle. I'm your host, Vital Germain. I'm 50 years old. I feel good and I look even better. Don't hate, you can too. Let's dive straight in with our next guest. Let's welcome Lauren. Hi Lauren, how's it going?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on. You always wanted me on, but that's okay.
It's a pleasure to have you, Lauren. We are going to talk about sexuality with Lauren. Lauren, you are an author of a book called How to Have an Affair and Not Get Caught. Before we dive into the meaning of that, my first question to you is, in terms of sexuality, would you consider America to view sexuality as taboo?
Far too long.
Far too long.
Forever. Far too long. Forever. It's so, you can actually say it's, what's the word? Puritanical.
Puritanical. So how do we go about revitalizing or liberating ourselves in terms of our sexuality? And then maybe more importantly, which we'll get to later, how does sexuality tie into slowing down the aging process? So let's talk about, in general, how do people stimulate, inspire, be more sexual with their partners, keep their relationships alive?
They have to be open with it. Let go. Let it go. There's sex out there. There's love out there. We all want it. How many times have you sat across from someone and you just saw yourself touching them? Or sitting with someone that you love, really, and you sit with someone you love and you do this.
Probably more than I care to admit on this platform, but yes, to
that
your
you couldn't
point.
admit on air, right?
So is it a question of fantasizing a little bit more and being more comfortable with those fantasies?
No, but it's not just fantasizing. That's what people are doing. They're fantasizing and they're getting bitter that they're not doing anything about it. I always said there has to be one day a year where no one goes to work, no one does anything, but everybody has to make love. It's a must, otherwise you go to jail.
Isn't that February 14th? Isn't that like code for get it on with your partner?
Why is it only one day?
I know.
Why is it only one day? You should kiss someone every day. Every day. Wow. Kiss somebody. Not on the street, they'll take you away, you know? Kiss every day, kiss someone.
Kiss somebody every day.
People forget to touch. There are couples, let's speak about couples. They can go through a whole day, they won't touch each other. Yeah, hi, I brought that. What's for dinner? You know, oh, I had a hard day at work. No. Put
so
that
is that
kiss
touching?
Somebody.
So what does the touching do, other than an element of foreplay? But what's the value of touching beyond your sexuality? But
your connection. I remember when I wanted to get something across to women, I spoke to them. I was in high-tech telecommunications, all this stuff. So when I spoke to women, I spoke on a very technical level. When I spoke to men, I reached out and I touched their hand just for a moment. All they could do was have that connection with me. It didn't work with women. You have to know who you're dealing with.
Right.
But the thing is, once you do touch someone, touch their hand. Do you think of something else? No. You don't think of anything else. You think of touching that person. We don't touch enough. Oh no, I've been married too long and what, he's gonna laugh at me, she's gonna laugh at me. No, touch somebody, kiss someone.
Where does it start?
If America is different. America is very different.
But where does it start going wrong, Lauren? Where do we stop? Where in relationships do we stop touching? Where in relationships do we stop the intimacy, the fantasy, the nasty?
When you have that marriage license, let's speak about couples. It just makes it easier on the whole. You have a married couple. Before they had that piece of paper, before they had that license in their hand, what they did is they would drive for half an hour to see each other for 5 minutes. Have you ever done that? Where you just had to see somebody and it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It didn't matter where or how to get there. The day after, oh, I'll call her later. Oh, no, I'll see him up tonight. What happened? You were lovers until yesterday. The minute they get married, something changes. They say that you have more sex in the first year of marriage than you do for the whole rest of your life. Good God, I hope that's not.
All right, so now let's get maybe a little bit less politically correct and down to the raw essence. Do you practice what you preach?
Absolutely.
How often are you getting busy with your husband?
Every day.
Every day.
In one way or another. There's no such thing. When he leaves in the morning, he kisses me goodbye. Somebody comes home, you get a kiss hello. Oh no, this is habit. This is turned into habit. And it's the best habit you can have. Touching. Well, I'll pass him by. He's watching. I'm old enough to know not to bother him during a soccer game. But just when there's,
If your
whatever,
man is a soccer player, good man, do not disturb me during soccer. You're very
that's a
smart.
good woman to know not to stop
Yes.
him. And as I pass, I'll bend down, give him a kiss, and I'll keep going. But what does he remember? He remembers that I gave him a kiss. He remembers that I passed by. I'll pass by and I'll run my hand across his neck as he's watching. This way, not to bother him. I'll do this. I'll hand him a cup of coffee. You have to be lovers again. In order to keep something going, you work at it. You do it at work. You
This
have
is
the
true.
upkeep of your car, but you don't work that much to keep a relationship going. You take it so much for granted that you're in the same room. That means nothing. You're in the same room with a lamp too. Don't
So,
make your life like a lamp.
well,
Kiss each other, touch.
yeah. So, I'm still the visual of having a lamp in the room. So there is sexuality on one side, and you've made it very clear that it's also about intimacy. Is there a difference
Yes,
between the two?
absolutely. Sexuality, you're going at it, right? One way or the other. But intimacy is where you can sit together and just lean shoulders. And it's the two of you. And again, it's the touching. That's intimate. You don't go around, touching people, but you will touch that person. Have the intimacy, have that feeling, the look, the smile, the
Yeah.
small kiss, the touch. This is intimacy because you don't do that with everyone, but you do that with this person. That's what makes them special. That's what makes you special to them. You've, this whole thing is going to go around kissing and touching because people don't do it enough.
And
And
remind me
in
again.
America, oh no, I can't do that, or we can't do that when walking down the street. Oh hell, how many times I've kissed my husband walking down the street? I should be in jail. I will never stop. And I love it. I love because of that they don't matter. Nothing else matters. When you kiss somebody, think about it. You didn't think about the car, you didn't think about work, you didn't think about anything. But if you have that perfect kiss,
Uh,
you never forget it.
wow. Can we end this show right now? I think I got to go home and do some work and do some catching up. But I love what you're sharing because there are studies that show that healthy couples, the fact of being together and in a loving relationship, sleeping next to somebody, the intimacy part, let alone the sexuality, it
Mm-hmm.
actually keeps us healthier. We live longer. So, Lauren, how old are you, did you say? How old are you? Ah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
No, no, no. I'm 71.
71.
71. Oh shoot, I'm almost 72.
Almost
71.
72. And how long have you been married, you said?
Just 49 years.
Wow. 49 years. First of all, congratulations.
Yes.
So
That's
you've
from
shared a lot
kissing.
about the little tips that people can do. But yet your book, because I don't think this is what you're promoting, your book is How to Have an Affair and Not Get Caught. So bring us into that world because the book, I've read it, it's a fantastic book, by the way. The book brings value, but you're not, what are you really promoting in that book?
Intimacy. And I'm usually I don't tell people what the last paragraph is, but through this, it's a how-to, just like how to change your plumbing, how to fix your car. This is how to have an affair, where to park, where not to park, what to wear. Do not wear flimsy clothes, they wrinkle. All these little things, no perfume, no aftershave. A woman has far sharper sense of smell, she will catch you in a second.
Wow.
All these different things of what to do, how to do it, where to do it. But the very last sentence says, if you are going to do all this with a stranger, do it with your spouse. I had an affair with my husband a few times. One time I said to him, come, I took him to another city. I said, meet me in another city. We're going to have dinner. And he said, why should we come out here? I said, no, I have ulterior motives. After dinner, I said, don't go to your car. And I took him to a little place and we had an affair.
I love that. So this is basically what this does is it keeps sexuality, intimacy, it keeps the
Everything.
energy of the relationship, it keeps it youthful, vibrant, exciting, it keeps it alive.
You're
Really,
going to
that's what it
live
comes down
longer.
to.
You're going to live longer. When I can't fall asleep, I don't take pills. I don't do it. I have this trick of putting like just my fingers underneath my husband's side. And the minute I do that, I fall asleep. And I never realized that this was my sleeping pill. He was there. This is the intimacy. This is the touching. And I didn't realize this. I said this to someone after we've been married for years. And I thought, oh my God, that's what I do. The minute I slip in, I feel too warm, and I fall asleep.
When did you realize you have this gift, ability to understand sexuality, and then to put it into words? Because I've read, again, some of your literature is very erotic. Now, it's not pornographic, it's erotic. It stimulates the imagination to maybe want to be more romantic. When did you discover this gift? Because it is a gift.
Ages ago. I think because I could speak about it and be so open about it, where people said, oh, well, we don't talk about that, or they would blush. And I thought, oh my God, they're missing out on so much. And I could tell a good story, and I could make it, okay, I can't say certain words. This is how I was brought up. Middle class, nice Jewish girl in Brooklyn, you don't say these words. So I had to go around it, which makes it even more sensual. If I couldn't say certain parts of the body, so what do you say? Or you don't say, oh, he grabbed her. No, he touched her. He touched her and his fingers went down her throat. I give you the picture. This is my talent. And I have to say that this is a talent that I have. I give you the picture. I don't tell you he had big hands. I say his hands caressed her throat.
Ooh, wow. It just got a little bit warmer in here. But I love the poetry, because again, without being, and this is what separates, actually I'm going to ask you, how do you define or separate erotic literature with blatant pornographic literature? What's that? Because I can look at a naked picture in a magazine or on the internet, and some pictures, oh, that's a beautiful work of art. And others, it's like, no, that's just cheap porn. What is that fine line between the two? How do we know?
I always give this example. She got off the plane. He saw her at the waiting area, took her to the chairs, hit her one, and they went home. You don't know who they are, what they did, what they look like, or even care, and you won't even remember that this just happened.
Right.
But if I tell you she came off the plane and she walked toward him, and he stood and waited for her, and she walked up to him, and she could feel his chest moving with every breath. And when he put his finger on her cheek and ran it down her neck, and when he went a little bit lower, she pressed forward so no one would see.
Wow.
They did nothing but look at your face.
Well, in my head, it's the foreplay. They did nothing yet, but I'm full of anticipation of what on earth are they about to do?
But did you feel this? You
Absolutely,
could feel
I did.
this. That's the sensuality. That's the erotica. It's building. It's like steam. It's like steam that builds up and builds up. Granted, you have something boiling underneath, for lack of a better expression, but it's the steam. And that's what you see. That's what you feel. That's what gives you the warmth.
I love that example.
What you have.
So there was a book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, whatever that book was. I can't remember the title, but it came out many years ago. How do men take note here, as men, how can we inspire, stimulate our female counterpart, if that's our sexual orientation? How do we stimulate the opposite sex to want to be erotic, to want to make love, to want to have a quickie in the morning, to want to do tender? How do we connect, and other than just, you said the element of touch, what tools can men leverage and use to really enhance their sexuality?
Stop being embarrassed.
What's that?
Men are embarrassed. Many men are embarrassed to be sexual, to be sensuous. I don't know if they feel it's a wussy. No, guys, it's not. Okay, let's put that out on the table. Some do. Those are the guys who go, oh, he's so sexy. Why? Because he'll look at you.
Right.
He'll touch you. He'll hand something to you and brush across your fingers. But those are few and far between. Men, just give it up. Touch her. Touch her. Be very gentle.
So not like, caveman style, a little bit more finesse.
And if he has to be caveman or she wants caveman, that'll come too. But start with the touch. The next time you give someone that you really love, the next time you hand them a glass, Just run your fingers over theirs and step back. They're going to want more. When I kiss my husband as I'm passing by, I always tell
They're
people,
going to want more of what's in the glass, or they're going to want more of the person who brought them the glass. Let's be specific here.
but every time I pass my, oh, I would pass my husband, bend down, give him a kiss, and keep walking. And I tell people, do that because he's going to go, oh, wait a minute, give me another one. This is what it is. Pull them. Don't be afraid. Women want to be romanced. That's the way we are. We want to be romanced. And this whole business of women, are just like men. No, we're not. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Men have become, I'm sorry, they become such wusses. Well, it's not politically correct. I can't touch her. I
Hey,
can't
we're
tell
not
her
politically correct.
you don't tell me I'm pretty, I'm going to get really mad. You understand? Women want to be enjoyed. They want to be
Celebrated.
held a little bit higher than
Yeah.
than what they were a minute ago. To be appreciated. That someone noticed that, oh, blue suits you. Thank you. This is what women want.
So at your age, and at my age of 56, my sex drive has, I hate to admit it, my sex drive has diminished. But I still think like you. I still have these erotic, fantasies and thoughts. I might not be doing it 3 times a day like I used to. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? But so for people whose sex drive, like there are some people out there who no longer desire sex. There are some people who have, erectile dysfunction and all. How do they work around those things? Because if I don't have a sex drive, how do I maintain a sense of interest, a sense of intimacy with my partner? In other words, how do I get my drive back? Help!
Touch. Once you start touching, it's a little bit hard to stop. If you sit with someone and just do this,
that's all I got to do.
And keep going, it's going to lead to someone. And let's face it, when you get older, granted, for all the different reasons that men and women physically can't or not as much or whatever, it doesn't have to be the full act. Touch each other. That is so sexual. Make each other excited.
So with that touching, so if we focus on the pure element of the touch, without it having to end with sex, penetration, orgasms, etc., would you agree that maybe would take the pressure off of having to perform?
Oh yes, absolutely. It's not just having sex. Hello, what did you do when you had sex? Just bam and walked away? You played. And I'm sorry. One thing, I don't know if I can say this. Let me put it this gently. There are different ways of exciting someone. At the time, I remember someone who was older than me, which, hello, she said, when I was living in the 50s, and she said, okay, we didn't have sex, but we played with each other. And today I hear of women having to a girl brings a boy to orgasm, he doesn't know how to bring her to orgasm. He doesn't know what to touch or where. Now, this is something it's a lost art. She said that. She said it's a lost art.
Well,
they forgot what it is to have fingers.
Some people never found it before they could even lose it. So, I mean, so where would you recommend men to go and research, go online and do some self-learning exploration to bring more happiness to their partner?
Ask the girl. She's dying for you to touch her. The same way he wants her to touch him.
So it's that simple.
He'll tell her, oh, here, hold this, do that. She'll do the same thing. Ask. Just ask. Oh, I didn't know. Did you ask her? No, I can't ask something like that. Well, why were you sitting next to her? Why were you lying down with her? Ask. Ask.
But I think that taps back into what you mentioned.
She will go to bed with you.
But Lauren, I think that taps back into what you said earlier on about men we're wussies. I think you said you used the word wussies, wuss.
Yeah.
A part of the reason why we're wusses in different capacities is that our testosterone, our ego, like, I don't want to ask. I know the way. I know how to do it. And oftentimes, and here's the flip side of the equation, women will go along with that and maybe they'll fake it to make their man feel good. So when it comes to sexuality, are you saying be upfront, be honest, communicate clearly, and that will enhance your relationship, your sexuality? It's that, yeah.
Okay, when I met my husband, oh God, my kids are gonna hear this. When I met my husband, within a week, I slammed the guy. I was so in love with him. I just couldn't get my hands off of him till today. Till today, we're always touching. My kids are cringing right now. But the thing is, when we first met, it was this, may I? Yes, you may. May I? Yes, you may. May I? Yes, you may. It was also a feeling, a look, but trying.
Yeah.
Get there, ask for it. If not in words, then in gestures. Take it easy. Go with the flow. Do you know how sexual it is? How sensuous it is when you hold someone and very slowly bring them forward. Oh, damn. You can write books like that.
Well, you
It's
have, and in fact, you recently just launched a second book. What's the title of that book, and how do we find it?
Yes, Harem of the Dragon. Harem of the Dragon. Very, very sensual, very erotic, very erotic. With again, without using words. You don't have to. It's basically about a young boy who's sold to the palace during the Ming Dynasty. He he becomes the chief eunuch of the harem. Now, what this means is because he's a eunuch, he feels nothing sexual. So you have the beginning of the book where he has to learn what a woman feels and how she feels and what she feels like.
Wow.
Where he's being taught, and they say, and he's told, hold her breast. What do you feel? And he feels the ripple of her skin. You know, and he has to feel what she feels like, and he has to hear what she feels by moaning, by saying this is better, by responding to it. And eventually he teaches the woman, because these women have to satisfy the emperor. He has to make sure they satisfy the emperor in every single way, in every way possible. And this goes through the book. You have his life and then his teachings. And it goes on like that. And it's it's very sensual. I think it's more sensual. Well, no, erotic. It's very erotic.
And
There's some parts in there that even I think, whoa, you know.
And where can people find the book? Where can I buy the book? Because I think I need the book. Where do I get the book? I want a copy. Where do people find it?
I made everybody's life very easy. Look up Lauren Tallman.
Lauren Tallman?
LaurenTallman.com. If you go to LaurenTallman.com, you'll find the book. You'll find How to Have an Affair, Harem of the Dragon. And next year I have another book coming out, the Erotic Tales of Rennie.
Wow, you cannot be slowed down. I love that. I want to quickly shift gear because I want to get a quick taste of how you ended up where you are today. Thinking back to when you were a kid, do you remember what you wanted to be when you were 7 years old?
I sang. I was a little singer. I was that cute kid that everybody looked at. You know, honestly, I can say openly today, I knew one thing. When I would speak to people my entire life, people would be listening. I knew I could control them. Not control, I could gather them.
Yeah.
Control is a little bit too harsh, but I knew if I spoke, people would be listening. And I always knew this. I could always see an audience of people and me standing and everyone listening and everyone smiling, that I could give them something. I think that was that I was giving something that they truly enjoyed. And I always felt that, always. And I think that's what made me go through my career so much. I could finagle, I could do things, I could have people listen to me. Yeah. When there were problems, someone said, oh my God, you know, someone just came in from Norway and, you know, stop him for 20 minutes. And for 20 minutes, all I did was speak about Norway. I had never been there. But I spoke to him and asked him, and I could finagle, I could have him listen to me.
But you have this innate gift of communication. I mean, just the way you are communicating right now, not through the words in your books, but just your organic nature. There's an authenticity about it. And the reason why I asked that question, what you wanted to be when you were 7 years old, is that oftentimes, if we look back to our natural gift, as a child, we have these natural tendencies and natural gifts. That is our sense of genius. And if we go back and understand that, it allows us to really understand what our true sense of purpose is. And if I look back on my life and I realize what was I really doing, what did I care about at such a young age, it aligns with kind of what I'm doing today. I always wanted to care and help people. I always wanted to uplift them and help them overcome whatever they were doing. And so I'm glad that you were able to resonate with your innate gift and turn it into something very lucrative as an adult. And you do bring a gift to other people. I mean, the gift of sensuality, sexuality, relationship. It's one of the most fundamental needs that humans have. We need to feel a sense of belonging, a sense of safety. And I think that's the gift you bring to people. I mean, you spice it up a little bit, but that's the gift that you bring.
You got it, you got it. Oh.
So on that note, we're coming to the close of this wonderful, sexy segment. You've gone through this amazing journey. You've been able to communicate with people, touch their hearts. You've shared sexuality and sensuality with them. When that time comes when you transition to whatever is next.
I pop off.
Right. How do you want people to remember Lauren? What would your legacy be? How would you want people to talk about you when you're no longer here?
I want them to think, wow, she was a kicker. She was interesting. She was funny. I think really most of all, and this is sort of choking me up, but I figure if I would like one day to know that when people said my name, they smiled.
Or got an erection, one or the other.
Probably.
We just brought it full circle, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
Lauren, final two questions.
Yes.
What's your favorite sound? Mine is the sound of children playing and laughing off in the distance. What is your favorite sound?
Rain. Without a doubt, rain. I love
rain.
the tapping of it, because you could never know when the next one is coming. Ha.
Very punny, very punny.
You know, the little taps, and if you stand outside, and even if it's a cold rain or a warm rain is even better, but if you stand there and you never know when the next one is going to fall on your cheek, or
I love
you
that.
feel it covering you, and the sound of it when it falls off leaves and hits another leaf or hits the ground or slaps the bench where you're sitting.
Now you want to know?
I don't know, I love the sound.
Tying into what you just said there, one of my favorite things, erotic, sensual, sexual things, I love to kiss in the rain.
There you go.
Wow. Final thought, Lauren.
Yes.
What is your favorite curse word?
Which language?
Any language.
Oh, look, everyone, you know, you stub your toe and you go, oh, fuck. You dropped your keys, oh, fuck it. You know, this is what you say. But when I'm driving and you cut me off, I'll hit you either in Arabic or in Russian that my mother would slap me.
Wow.
It's about your mama. So you better watch out.
In that case, Lauren, I hope that I never hear you speak Arabic or any of those languages, because I know you'll be cursing like I don't even want to go there. But Lauren,
right.
What a delight. Thank you for this wonderful journey into your dirty, nasty mind. I love it because the way you talk about sexuality, there's a poetry to it. I think it removes the taboo that we fear. And I hope that this has inspired people to go and be more intimate, touch their partners more, strengthen their relationships, and just get nasty. Lauren, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for turning up the temperature here in the studio. I love you.
Good.
And go take care of your man. Go bring him that coffee and just touch his finger.
His finger? Okay.
Thank you, Lauren. Take care. That was another episode of Another F Word. Thank you for joining us. If you want to follow me and connect with me on social media, please do so at Vital Germain on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.